Hi, class. So today, first of all, I know you guys as groups, everybody's kind of in a different spot right now in terms of for our task one here saying, complete documents 1 through 8 with great effort and detail. We have some groups right now that are right where they should be. They're done with those or they're just about done with them. We have some groups that are maybe kind of more in the middle of those documents and haven't even started like 7 and 8. Okay. So make sure we do those first, making sure that we're getting that work done, and making sure we're not rushing through those for a couple of different reasons. One, the more details that you have as you go through your paperwork, the easier it's going to be then to create a presentation and a poster to actually deliver that information to the class. And more importantly to me is I grade you with the rubric because you'll have a clearer picture of what you're trying to accomplish with your organization, right? Second reason is your paperwork is worth 10 points of your 60-point assessment grade, okay? And it says that on the rubric, and all groups should have a rubric now, and that we went over that. So 10 points of that is for making sure that the document, each of the 10 documents that we do are done thoroughly, right? And it's not like you getting partial points. If a document is halfway done, but not really all that well done, it's just you got 0 points on that document, just as if it were blank, right? Okay, so make sure that we're doing a great job with those documents. Today, we're going to start on the last 2 documents and tasks that we need to do before we start working on designing our poster and presentation and all that good stuff, okay? So we're going to work on documents 9 and 10 here, okay? So I'm going to show you document 9. This is your rough draft for your presentation and your poster, okay? So we've already talked about the posters and they're hanging up around the room. So you already have the vision of good, excuse me, of kind of what we want those posters to look like approximately, okay? And we've talked about the presentation as well. We've already covered the rubric. At the end of this project, whenever I set the presentation dates, which I'm not quite there yet, but I'll probably set those this week or sometime in the near future. You guys are going to give a 2 to 5 minute presentation to the class on all the different things that you need to talk about that are listed here, and more importantly, the things that are on the rubric, okay, right? Because the rubric is how you're graded. So the front part of document 9 here is that you guys are going to write out some talking points on how you want to talk about this, okay? So what's the mission statement and the goals of the organization? So you can write out your mission statement if you want, but I don't want you to just take what's on another document and put it on here necessarily. I want you to write down some key words or ideas that you want to use when you actually talk about it, okay? Maybe why you chose that mission statement or how you guys chose that, or maybe some key words in there and elaborate on those. So don't just write down the mission statement. I can look at your other document to get that. I want you to write down what are the things that you want to talk about, right? Because you have to give a 2 to 5 minute presentation. And if you just read your mission statement, it covers as far as like what the rubric says, right? If you say our mission statement is blah, 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 okay, you've met the goals of the rubric, but you also probably just talked for like 5, maybe 10 seconds, right? So you want to elaborate on things and you want to be able to give some details. That way people understand it and you use up some more time, okay? So as you go through these questions, put down some details that you want to talk about, okay? Be thorough with it. This is going to be pretty important for you. And then on the who line here, you're going to write down who's talking about it in your group, okay? So if Johnny's going to cover this in the presentation, great. And Sally's going to cover this. And so write down whoever is going to talk about it. That way it's all mapped out, okay? You guys will eventually, here within the next couple of class periods, I will give you note cards and you guys can start writing down some keywords and organize your note card how you want for each student, okay? But today we're just going to do this, okay? So that's the front side of it. You should be able to get most, if not all, this information from the documents that you've already done. Okay. The backside, this is approximately the same size as your poster, okay, proportionally. Okay, so that's about what the poster board shape looks like. So I want you to take everything that is on the rubric that you have to include on your poster, and you are going to map out very detailed where you're going to put everything. It does not matter, just like you can see on the posters. Some of them are up and down, right? And some of them on the other side of the classroom are horizontal. It doesn't matter if you want to turn your paper and do it sideways. I don't care how you do your poster, but you're going to map out what your poster is going to look like with all the things that need to be on the rubric or that are on the rubric. Okay. So that's document 9. Document 10 is going to be a little bit more confusing to you. So I'm going to cover it with you. In module 8, there are document 10 materials link here, okay? It says you're going to need all 5 of these documents. All right, document 10, it says that it's not linked. It's the blank paper found in the black tray at the front of the room, okay? So it looks like this. It's just lined paper that I created for our letter, okay? 10B is going to be what you write in your letter. What is the purpose, okay? So if I open up 10B here, your goal is to write a letter to the mayor and city council requesting the items listed below so you can start your nonprofit volunteer organization. In doing so, you are also to pay close attention to the format of your letter as well as the format of how you address the envelope, okay? So in your letter, in what you are writing, okay, you are going to ask the mayor and city council for 3 different things. You're going to ask them for tax exempt status that will allow you to make purchases for the business without paying federal taxes. You're going to ask them for nonprofit business status, which allows you to make purchases for the business without paying state taxes. And you are going to ask them for meeting time at the next month's city council meeting. So you can talk about what your organization is within whatever community is that you're doing this, and tell them the 3 most important ways that your company is going to benefit their community. Okay. So you are writing a professional letter requesting those 3 things. That is what is in the letter. Okay. That's the purpose of it. Okay. Is 10B. When you go to do the envelope, your information is right there in terms of who you are writing it to. Okay. All right. We know what is in the letter. Now, how do we write the letter? What is it supposed to look like? Well, that's 10C here. Okay. So if you look at 10C on that lined piece of paper, today's date is in the upper right-hand corner. Then your company name, address, city, state, zip. You can just make up an address, okay? It doesn't matter, but it should be in the correct format, okay? Name on one line, address on the next line, and then city, state, and zip code on the next line. So it should take 3 lines here, okay? Then leave a blank space, professional greeting, okay? We've worked on that just like in emails. It could be hello, it could be dear, it could be greetings, okay? Something there. Your body of your letter, just like in a professional email that we've worked on. 1 paragraph should be enough for this today. But if you're going to have more than 1 paragraph, that's fine. And so you're going to write the 3 things that you need to request from the city council and the mayor right here. Okay. Then you're going to skip a line. You're going to have a professional sign off. Typically that's sincerely. Okay. And then all group members are going to sign their names in cursive at the bottom. Okay, so now we know what we're writing in the letter. Okay, the 3 things. We know how it should look now. Okay, we have this document 10C. The last thing that we need to know is how to address the envelope. Okay, so that's 10D here. You do not need to seal the envelope shut. Okay, so when you get an envelope here, it's going to look approximately like this. And the envelopes, along with your 10A document, they're up in the black shelves in the front of the room. Okay. So same thing on the envelope in the upper left-hand corner, just like you did at the top of your letter, you're going to put your company name, that address that you made up, and then city, state, and zip code, 3 different lines. Okay. Down here, you are going to write the information of the person you are writing to. Okay. Let's see. That should not say module 11. That should say module 8. There we go. So if I go back and I look at that, here's how I address the email, or I'm sorry, not the email, the envelope right there. Okay. So that's the information right there that I'm putting right here. Okay. And then you're going to draw a stamp. You're going to trifold your letter. So when we talk about trifolding something, you can look online if you don't know how to do it. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to try to take your letter, okay, and you're going to try to fold it into 3 even pieces, okay? So section 1, section 2, section 3. See if I can kind of show you here. The way I do it is I just kind of roll it until it's about even. And then you got to carefully press down. Want to make it look fairly good here. Do that. Do that. Okay. Now I have 3 even sections. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's trifolding your letter. When you do that, you put it in the envelope and you are done with it. Okay, so that is document 10. All right, guys, good luck. Thank you.